In this video, we will learn some basic ideas about geometry. We will talk about points, lines, and angles. First, let's begin with this word geometry. What is geometry? If you don't know, you can check an English dictionary to find the meaning. Or, if you have an internet connection, you can simply use Google. Type in definition of geometry and press enter. Here we see that it is a noun, and it is the branch of mathematics concerned with the properties and relations of points, lines, surfaces, solids, and higher dimensional analogs. Wow, that sounds complicated, but don't worry. You can ignore this last part since it is unrelated to junior high school mathematics. For now, we are only interested in properties and relations of points, lines, surfaces, and solids. And in this video, we will only discuss points and lines and the angles that are made by lines. Okay, so let's get started. This is a point. Shown as a dot, a point defines an exact location. A point is zero-dimensional. That means that it has no length, no area, and no volume. When naming a point, always use uppercase letters. Here are all the uppercase letters that can be used to name points. So let's call this point A. Now let's suppose that we have 2 points, points A and B, and we connect them with a straight line. We call this line AB. Notice that the line passes through both points and then appears to stop at both ends. You should not think that the line actually stops at these positions. Instead, imagine that the line extends to infinity on both sides. To remind us of this, arrowheads are sometimes shown on either side of the line. Now let's suppose that a line starts at point A, an endpoint, and extends through point B to infinity. A line with one endpoint is called a ray, and in this example, we can call this ray AB. Now let's suppose that a line starts at point B, an endpoint, and extends through point A to infinity. In this case, we would call it ray BA, because the first letter always identifies the endpoint of the ray. Now you may wonder, if an ordinary line has no endpoints, and a ray has one endpoint, then what do we call a line with 2 endpoints? A line with 2 endpoints is called a segment. And in this case, since the endpoints are at A and B, we can call this segment AB. As mentioned in the textbook, the length of the segment linking 2 points is called the distance between the 2 points. When we talk about lines, rays, and segments, we should remember that all of these are one-dimensional. That means they all have length, but they have no area and no volume. When writing an expression to indicate the relationship between the lengths of segments, if the length of segment AB is equal to that of segment BC, then we can write AB equals BC. Also, we can show that they are equal by using tick marks, like this. Now consider this. If the length of segment AC is twice that of segment AB, then we can write AC equals 2AB. Next, remember that the halfway point of a segment is called the midpoint. For example, point B is at the midpoint of segment AC. And because B is located at the midpoint of AC, AB equals BC. Once again, we can show that they are equal by using tick marks, like this. So far, when talking about lines, rays, and segments, we have used the names of points. For example, line AB, ray AB, and segment AB. However, it is also possible to give names to lines, rays, and segments using lowercase letters. For example, here is line L. This is ray R, and this is segment S. Imagine we have three line segments, L, M, and N. If we put them together so that their endpoints meet, they form a triangle. The segments form the three sides of the triangle, and their endpoints form the 3 points of the triangle, which we can label A, B, and C. We can call this triangle ABC. And if we use the triangle symbol, we can write triangle ABC like this. Of course, all triangles have 3 sides, but they also have 3 interior angles. Tri means 3, so triangle literally means 3 angles. Angles may be expressed in several ways. For example, the angle formed between segments AB and BC is called angle ABC. Notice that this time we use the angle symbol instead of the triangle symbol. This same angle may also be called by different names. For example, it may also be called angle CBA, or simply angle B. Point B is called the vertex of the angle. And finally, it is possible to name angles in the same way that we named lines, using lowercase letters. So we might refer to this same angle as angle X. As mentioned earlier, triangles can be formed from line segments. But triangles are just one type of figure that we study in geometry. There are other types of figures, of course, such as circles and rectangles. All of these are examples of plane figures. All plane figures are two-dimensional, which means they have length and area, but no volume. The size of angles can be measured using a protractor. A protractor is similar to a ruler, but instead of being straight, a protractor is curved in the shape of a half circle. The numbers along the edge of a protractor represent degrees, which are the units we use to describe the size of angles. This is angle X. You can see from the lines on the protractor that angle X is equal to 30 degrees. The mathematical expression shown here is read angle X equals 30 degrees. We can also say angle X is a 30-degree angle. In this case, the word 30-degree is an adjective, keyoshi, that describes the type of angle. Now here is a different angle. This time, angle X equals 60 degrees. Again, the mathematical expression is read as angle X equals 60 degrees. Or we can simply say angle X is a 60-degree angle. Finally, look at this angle. Here, X equals 90 degrees. We can say angle X is a 90-degree angle, or we can simply say that it is a right angle, choukaku, Nihongo de. Angles less than 90 degrees are called acute angles. Angles greater than 90 degrees are called obtuse angles. So let's review. A protractor can be used to measure the size of angles. Angles are measured in units called degrees. Angles less than 90 degrees are called acute angles. Angles equal to 90 degrees are called right angles. And angles greater than 90 degrees are called obtuse angles.